from his studios in New York. It's time for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Here's your host, Dan Tortora.
Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Both of those places you can hear the internet live streaming radio every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You can also watch Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora live on Facebook at the same time, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on facebook.com/livenowdt. This is a very special heading into week number 4, the upcoming game with Syracuse at home against Western Michigan. Syracuse facing off against former offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Tim Lester, who is the current and has been for the last few seasons head coach of the Western Michigan Broncos, coming into the Carrier Dome to face off against Syracuse in week number 4 of the college football season. And I am here today with one-on-one conversations with Syracuse linebackers Lakiem Williams and Andrew Armstrong. So first and foremost on today's broadcast, you're going to hear from Lakiem Williams, followed by Andrew Armstrong, both of them in the interior of the defense, letting you know their thoughts as they move forward from Clemson in the first quarter of the season, aka the first 3 games of the season, into where they stand now in week number 4, heading off against Western Michigan, with Syracuse starting off the season at 1-2, a victory on the road against Liberty, loss on the road after that in week number 2 against Maryland, and a loss at home to start off their home stint, that loss coming to number 1 ranked Clemson. So if they go from here to look to get back on the winning side of things, it'll only take 1 win to get back to 500 in their season at 2-2. Western Michigan is the next one up, and the first one up here is Lakiem Williams of Syracuse football, linebacker on the team.
Well, just what you could say about coming off this game, and first quarter of the season, getting back to it.
Besides the loss, it was just great being back on the field, being home, just playing in front of the crowd.
The 50,000 plus, third most ever in the history of Syracuse football, just what that means to you guys as you step forward.
It means a lot, just coming out, and just seeing it just packed, and all you see is just fans. It was just really exciting, and it was just like, dang, if they do that now, I'm pretty sure, years to come, it's just going to be sold out from here on out.
The linebacker core, just what you can say from these first 3 games you guys have taken from each other. I got to speak to Andrew a little bit about you, just what you can say about his play and maybe as a whole for the linebacker core.
I felt like we came out versus Clemson and we just got back on track how we were against Liberty. Took a little step back versus Maryland, but, we felt like we just need to get back to playing our game and just doing our style of play. I feel like Army's a great linebacker. He's really smart when it comes to the knowledge of the game. He gets into his run fits very well, and he's a great player.
Behind you guys, the secondary, every game an interception, just what you can say about what they've meant to this program and obviously created some opportunities against Clemson even though it didn't go your way.
They really take the initiative of getting the job done. They study their routes extremely well. I feel like their game preparation was good, and they just have a lot of talent back there. And really doesn't matter who's out there. I just know when I'm on the field, I just trust everybody out there. So that's always a blessing.
And finally, for me, just what Coach Baber's message has been coming off of Clemson. I know he spoke to you guys at midfield and kind of going from there into practice. Just what the message has been at this point.
For real, well, the way I look at it is we just got to keep continuing to go hard, and we just got to find a way. We can't put the blame on nobody. We just got to, take it to the chin and just keep pushing it.
From Lakiem Williams to his linebacker core member, Andrew Armstrong, this is what Andrew had to say in our conversation heading out of Clemson and moving forward into the rest of the season.
Andrew, I spoke with Lakiem a little bit, and you and I spoke a couple weeks ago. Just what you've been taking away from the linebacker core in the first quarter of the season.
I thought we had a solid first game. We were communicating a lot on the field. Second game, and I think our preparation was as good as the first game. I think we kind of overlooked Maryland a little bit, and our communication wasn't great. We were kind of winning out there, kind of tired. But being able to bounce back and have a good game from a linebacker standpoint against Clemson was really promising. And we have a lot of confidence going in this Western Michigan game. And Clemson all came down to communication. We were talking every play. Felt confident out there. I felt really good going into Western Michigan.
You said that you might have overlooked Maryland a little bit. Was that the hype for Clemson? Was that just simply getting caught up in it a little bit?
Possibly. I think we were scared to lose to Liberty. I don't think anyone was scared to lose to Maryland. So I think we overlooked them. They came out with a lot of stuff we hadn't seen before, and I think we just let the moment get the best of us. And when the pressure hit, we didn't respond well. And it's a learning experience. Early on the season, still a long season left, only 3 games in, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. I think we're going to do just fine.
Your unit with Lakiem coming in, transferring in, you obviously having opportunities in rotation, but for the last couple of years, linebackers had gone through and finished up that had a ton of experience and a ton of leadership. I've spoken with you about leadership before, kind of making this linebacker core out of a bunch of guys that were fighting for opportunities in recent history, just what that's been like to, go into this new era of the linebacker at Syracuse where there isn't an incumbent starter, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just have to learn from the guys above us, and these young guys are going to have an opportunity to start for 2 to 3 years after we're gone, and there's a lot of depth right now. So, we're trying. We've seen leaders come through this program, like I said before, and just being able to relate that. And we've been leaders before. We were leaders in our high schools. Just constant communication, trying to get the young guys right.
For this game, coming off of the Clemson game, just what your takeaways were from Clemson. Like you said, you guys talked the entire game together. The defense did a lot of great things. We were able to get 2 takeaways against Trevor Lawrence, who a lot of people regard as the best quarterback in the country. Just what that means that, you guys had a good game against him last year and knocked him out of the game, and then this year another close one, at least at certain points where those 2 turnovers happened that could have made it a 3 to 4 point game.
Yeah, we were able to compete with the defending national champions, probably one of the best offenses in the country, and that's giving us a lot of confidence going into this game that we can hang with anybody. And that the home field advantage, all the people in the dome, the sellout dome, was really critical in our success too. Being able to get them on 3rd down, and they can't hear their cadence, so we're able to time with the snap count, and that's a huge advantage for us being at home and having the fans involved. And like I said, being able to compete with Clemson, we're not scared of anyone. We can hang with anybody, so we're feeling really confident going to Western Michigan.
I say close because there was those defensive turnovers that created opportunities. I don't think the score of Clemson, 41-6, truly showed how you guys played. Do you get a sense of that as well?
Yeah, definitely. We were right there. We were right there. We were right there, and I feel like people, they see the score 41-6, I believe it was, and they don't understand how close we really were. And minus 2 or 3 plays where we're in that ball game, we have an opportunity to win.
Some of the other guys, alumni of the program, have said that sometimes, if the defense does their job, then there might be, kind of a back and forth with the offense or vice versa. Have you felt that at all in the locker room? Any frustration has gone back and forth, or have you guys kind of just continued to fight for one another, offense, defense, and special teams, despite some of these early hiccups?
Yeah, we're definitely staying together. No one's pointing the finger, no one's blaming each other. We're a team, and we win or lose as a team, and we have our offenses back. They're going to get things right. They're going to start producing points, and we're not pointing no fingers, staying together as a team. We're super confident going to Western Michigan as a team as a whole.
Tommy DeVito, as a leader, I know you're on the defensive side, but you get to see what he can do in practice, and obviously in games he's out there working. Time is important. You know it from coming up, and obviously with Tommy, this is his 3rd season on the team, but his only true season as the starter. Do you feel that there should be a little bit more time of him getting comfortable? I mean, do you understand as a team that he's stepping into a new role even though he's been here?
Yeah, we're only 3 games in the season. There's a long season ahead of us. We have the opportunity to win out and win ball games. And this is his first time starting as a quarterback, and obviously he doesn't have a ton of experience, and that's going to come. And people are so quick to get down on him, but like I said, we just played a great Clemson team. Only the 3rd game of the season, a long season ahead, and Tommy's a great leader. He's a great football player, and I'm excited to have him as my quarterback.
So moving forward, Dino had taken you guys to the center of the field at the end of the game, and Evan said that that's happened before. He's like, in practice we go, we talk, it's just how it is. What are some of those messages when he does pull you aside? I mean, do you feel that Ohana, that family, does he, whether he's upset or not, is it more of a, hey, listen, we got to regroup, we got to be together? Like, what's the message, what's the motivation that he kind of brings?
Yeah, definitely. Being able to go on the S in our home field, that's our home, that's where we play. Just staying together, that's his main message, and remembering the feeling of losing on our home field. And it sucks to lose, and you don't forget that feeling, and you have it in the back of your mind when you're preparing the next week in practice, and you don't want to experience that again. So, it'll push you to work harder and prepare better. So we remember that feeling from Clemson and Maryland, and we're going to take that out against Western Michigan.
You come off a 10-3 season. There's a lot of expectation. You have a couple tough games here as far as how they ended. Do you go back to the team with the chip on your shoulder, or how do you kind of assess maybe how the environment is right now? Because they said last year you could sneak up on people, this year you can't, but now it almost seems like you're that team that maybe somebody's overlooking at this point.
Yeah, like you said, there was a lot of expectations on us this season, and there was a little bump in the road. We have some adversity right now, so we do have that chip on our shoulder now. People are doubting us, not with us anymore. And it's not the same feeling as the beginning of the season going into the season, so we want to prove everyone wrong that we're still that team that can win 10 games, 11 games, and it's a long season ahead. It's only 3 games during the season, so we're going to show people that we belong.
And lastly, 50,000 people plus in the Dome. It's the third largest crowd ever for a football game. You got to experience that. What do you want to say to the fans about that not just being a thing for Clemson, but that being a normal that I'm sure you as players would all like to see, because we know in Seattle what the 12th man can do, right. And we know that this closed environment of the Loud House, what that sounds like, because we saw it and we heard it against Clemson. So just what you can say to the fans about making this a normal thing and not just a Saturday night thing.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to the fans that everyone showed up for Clemson. It's an experience that I'll never forget, my teammates will never forget, and running out of the tunnel and seeing 50,000 of orange was awesome, and it gave us such an advantage on the field. When we were on defense on third down, the crowd's so loud, the offense can't hear the snap count, so we're able to time that up, and when we have a big play, the momentum and just the crowd and the feeling, it gives us such an advantage. So if everyone's able to go out for every home game like that, we're gonna be able to win games, and we were able to hang with the number one team in the country, and part of that is because of the fans. So it's a huge help, and like you said, the 12th man, and we're very thankful.
I want to thank both of these gentlemen for being a part of the show, and all the Syracuse players, past, present, and of course those future players as well, for being a part of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So many voices have graced the stage connected to Syracuse football, and I cannot thank them enough. So a special thanks once again to Lakiem Williams as well as Andrew Armstrong, and a God bless and a Godspeed moving forward. For now, this is Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We'll see you at the Dome.